Today we're talking about a TV show that I haven't seen since I was 7 years old, and I used to think it was the greatest thing that has ever graced these peepers, but I need to know if it's truly amazing or if nostalgia just truly had me in that big of a chokehold. So today we are talking about Mummies Alive, baby! Woo! Yes, dude. What the fuck? What does that mean? Bro, that guy looks right. Did I hook you? Was that good? Did I get you? Hi, hello. I hope you all are doing well. I'm very excited and I don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to record this as quickly as I possibly can while still having as much fun as possible. Let's do this thing. It's a different setup today. We're trying something new like I do with every video. You let me know how you feel about it. We've got an energy drink, not sponsored, and a cup of water, also obviously not sponsored. We're going to have a fantastic time. I'll explain this here in a second. What is Mummies Alive? Well, the best way to explain this show to you is to first explain a different show, Gargoyles. Are you guys familiar with the other 90s cartoon, Gargoyles? That was before this show. If you're not familiar, I highly recommend you watch it. It's awesome, aside from, I think it was season 3 or something, where the Gargoyles were like in court. Rough. But that show didn't do too well towards the end. It got canceled, and writers from that show, not all of them, but a couple of them, transferred from that into the Egyptian mythology-fueled cartoon known as Mummies Alive, dude. I have my cheat sheet right here as we talk about the show. I also have the squeakiest chair known to fucking man. I said known to man. I meant man. The synopsis of Mummies Alive. I think I stole it from Wikipedia. I don't know. I wrote this a while ago. The series opens in ancient Egypt where an evil sorcerer kills a prince in order to gain mortality. Fucking no. Immortality, okay? The one where you don't die. He is entombed alive. Fucking obviously, he killed a kid. That's not cool. But he is revived in the 20th century San Francisco. He finds the prince's reincarnation in a local boy and resumes his quest for immortality. I got it right that time. The prince's Egyptian bodyguards are resurrected as well in order to protect the boy. But they use the power of Ra, the sun god, to transform into more powerful forms. Kind of like how Power Rangers kick ass and then they kick more ass after it's morphin' time, you know? Okay, the plan. I need to watch the show, and then I'll go over it. I'll open with the pilot, because I think the pilot of any series is like one of the most important things. And then I'll kind of just briefly go through the middle content so I'm not wasting all of your time. And then, of course, I will highlight the finale, which I think is like the second most important part of seasons or shows and stuff like that. After that, I'm going to rate it as if this is the first time seeing it, trying to be unbiased about how I think it is, keeping in mind that it is a show meant for children, so I'm not going to like pile it into the ground or anything. And then after that, I'm going to compare it and open it into how it played into me as a kid, and if nostalgia had an effect over it, or if I thought it was better than before or better after, all that stuff, okay? As for watching every single episode, I've already done that. I streamed most of it, I recorded the rest of it, and it's going to be a good time. So you might see my face in the corner reacting to something like this.
Mr. Stone, sir, what Amanda is trying to say is...
Would $10 million take care...
Be real, Mr. Stone, smash or pass. Or you might just see like standard B-roll of the show, because my face doesn't need to be in every fucking thing you see today, okay? Let's do this thing! That's my work phone. Just kidding. Give me 1 second. Hello? Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I truly meant it when I said I don't have a lot of time. But we good. We good. Honestly, the hardest part about these videos is just this part. Having a consistently long enough time to just read my script to you guys and have a good time. I can take forever to edit. I try not to, but I'm saying I can do it in... Can you tell that I've drank most of this? God damn! Really fucking good, though. And just like that, we're jumping straight into it. Let's go over the pilot. Okay, I can't lie, the first episode starts really strong. Like, we immediately jumps into meeting the main bad guy, Scarab, and how somebody accidentally released his entombment, right? His curse was lifted. So now he's broken free, And then we immediately meet the main character, Rapses, who is Presley in the show. And then, like I said in the synopses, he's the reincarnation of the prince that the bad guy killed. The bad guy being Scarab. I'll have pictures up, so don't feel bad about not remembering all of these names. I feel like I'm talking about like a Housewives. Like, Mandy said that Tyler's ex-boyfriend, Rebecca, is actually really stupid and that their dog's pregnant cat's uncle, Steven, you remember Steven, I can't put that in. I was actually really impressed by the first episode. So it jumps into Scarab, and then we run into Presley, and we find out that Presley's mom works at the museum as a curator, I'm pretty sure. And so that's how he's going to be able to have access and be in and out of all of this like mummy-related and Egyptian-related stuff that we're going to go over throughout the episodes. So Presley all of a sudden starts to hear whispers and stuff that gets him to gravitate towards the exhibit where Scarab is secretly waiting for him, which we don't know yet. I need someone whispering in my ear like that.
Knock it off, Walter.
And as Scarab tries to basically kidnap him, not basically, he's trying to kidnap him and take him so that he can gain immortality, he accidentally triggers the 4 Guardians. The 4 Guardians of the show are Jakal, who takes on like the spirit of a bird, Ormond, who gets their power through a ram, I think, Wrath with a TH. No, it's not. Wrath. What do my notes say? Wrath, the TH. I was right. Stick to my gut. And he has the power of a snake. And then Nefertiti, which we will get to, who has the power of a cat. Even though I think that her necklace looks more like a bear. And I think they could have done a better job about that. But what do I know? I'm not an animator. Okay. Oh, also, in the first episode, when we meet Nefertiti, I forgot that she was pretending to be a guy first. And I was like, not prepared / was ready for it to be a guy the whole time, and I just had a little bit of bi panic, but I was down for it, you know?
I only pretended to be a man, since women are not allowed to drive the chariots of the Pharaoh.
I was gonna say, I do not remember this scene. If it was gonna be a guy the whole time, turns out I had a crush on a dude way earlier in life than I anticipated. So the animals I mentioned are the ones that they transform into, like their armor and their like super suits, basically. And I truly do think to this day they all look pretty badass. I think it holds up. And as much as I hate him, the main bad guy Scarab, when he transforms, like every fucking time he transforms, it looks so sick. Like unironically, I think he is the coolest transformation we see in the entire show. And we get him since episode 1, dude. It's so sick. I never grow tired of seeing it. Even though I will say, every time they all transform, they say like, the power of Ra, or something like that. I have to watch their transformation sequence every fucking time, dude. We don't need to see the whole transformation every time. I don't need to see this every time. I do not. I got it. Even in Power Rangers, if they did it too many times in one show, they would just cut to them like flipping over a balcony in their suits or whatever, and you'll just hear like, it's morphing time! We don't have to do like the Tyrannosaurus every fucking time, dude. Just, I understand you're trying to bleed it for the showtime. One time they did it 3 times the entire show, and I think the sequence is only 20 seconds, but an entire minute of the same fucking thing, dude. Just figure it out. So the reason why this is here, it was another fun thing I wanted to do while I talked about the show, and as soon as we get a production budget, As soon as we get a production budget, it'll look a lot better. But for now, I have index cards with their names written on it. Those names being just the animals that they are. So Jakal, the blue one's a bird. Nefertiti is the black cat. Armand is the purple ram. And Wrath is the green snake. I don't know why snake is the only one I wrote down in lowercase letters. Deal with it. But I can tell you right now, this motherfucker is going to be real comfy down there for a minute. Because he fucking sucks sometimes, dude.
Wrath, what happened to me?
It's far too complicated to explain right now.
Is that going to be his thing?
No, either.
Okay. All right, bet.
Heard that.
The only one that got really close to taking that was Ram, and I thought Ram was badass at first. We have blue and purple left. Right now, purple is in the top spot. Okay? Because I think I vibe the doofiness. It's still fresh to me. But I think the doofiness It's gonna wear off. It's gonna wear off, and we'll be switching. So we'll probably every couple episodes I'll update that.
Talking. Excuse me, are we gonna have lunch? Easy, big fella. I'll find you something.
What is that angle? Because he only has one arm when he's a mummy, and then when I guess he's always a mummy, but when he transforms into his like super suit, he gets a metal arm. And I really like Bucky, Winter Soldier. He has a metal arm, and I like Captain America in that series a lot, so that made me think of that, and that's badass. But obviously the bird guy has a lot of really cool parts. So sick. I'm very... Why do they have guns? The first thing I can tell you right now that hit me in nostalgia was my love for Nefertiti. Boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Hot, bro, hot. That'll probably change, but this was the list right off. So after these four Guardians save Presley's life / Rhapsody's life, it kind of ends with him adopting them as a part of their team. Like, there's a little bit of question at the end of the first episode where he's like, I'm not Rhapsody's. And then the beginning of the second episode, he's like, all right, I'm the reincarnation of a prince. You're my people. Let's go. All right, Chad, on a real note, he was like, yeah, I'm Rhapsody's in less than an episode. Because immediately he was like, dude, I'm not Rhapsody's. And then the start of this episode, he was like, hey, what's up? It's me, Presley. And also Rhapsody's. How long would it realistically take for you to be like, maybe I am Rhapsody's, you know? Because there's a lot of magic and shit. So, and he's like, he's a kid, so he's more impressionable. So it might be easier to be like, maybe I am the main character, you know? Something to think about. Overall, I think the pilot was fantastic. I truthfully don't think anything should have been done differently. It gave you the amount of exposition you needed to understand the fun parts of the action and introducing all the characters we needed to know. We truly got to see all of the information we needed to understand the rest of the show, and all of the like one-off problems will have enough time to be introduced at the beginning of each episode. We got to see an awesome fight sequence, which I think the choreography in the show still stands because they use... I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll talk about that in the middle junk. But the pilot was really good. Before we get into the middle junk, this show is entirely free to watch on YouTube. You can just search Mummies Alive and some beautiful soul put it all on there completely free. So if you have children or you like to watch cartoons and get high and play video games, those are the only two options, I guess. But you can do that in the background. Throw them on, watch it. It's pretty fun. Like, even the parts that are bad, it's fun to be like, that's terrible.
I'm the goddess here. I get the tuna. Now it's mine.
What is going on? But there's some really good parts in it too, I promise. I won't be afraid to talk about the bad parts though. Yeah, I forgot to move these around during the mid-explaining part, so I'm going to tell you during the first part, while we talk about this mid-bullshit, this stuff's getting moved around. This lovely lady is going down here. This guy's going up here. This guy's going up here. And we're doing that. Frankly, in the beginning of the show, the first like quarter, I feel like she doesn't really do anything. This guy just needs to be right about everything, and he's a fucking dweeb. And this guy's a badass the entire time. And then, of course, the having a metal arm out of nowhere every time he transforms is awesome. Back to you, me. Back to me, you. At first, I was going to pick particular episodes to go over in between the pilot and the end of season 1, but I kind of just want to go over what we experienced throughout the show as the best way to encompass what we feel and experience. The great thing about this hyperfixating on mummies and Egyptian lore is that we get to experience a lot of fun Egyptian gods throughout the show, like even ones that I have heard of before but I've never seen represented at all. I personally like mythology a lot of any kind, and I'm the most familiar with Egyptian and Norse because of like my friends really like it, my partner really likes it, stuff like that. But there is a good and a bad to that fact. As I said, the good is that you're able to see a lot of characters that you might not even know are a part of Egyptian mythology, and you get to learn while also just see big monsters and cool things get like thrown around and things blow up and all that. So you get to see people like Geb and Noon and Bastet, who if you don't know, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to shame you for not knowing mythology. I don't know basic geographical facts, so now we're even, right? But it was really cool. The unfortunate part is, a lot of the time as well, they might have thrown somebody in there just to throw them in there without even trying to portray them correctly. And by correctly, I'm not trying to say it's like lore accurate. I don't think that's fair for a children's show. I just mean, like, sometimes they'll represent them in terms of, like, they'll make them look completely different than what they could have looked. Like, my biggest example I can think of is Set. That was the biggest disappointment.
Ready, set?
That's supposed to be Set? No shot. Chat, if that was supposed to be Set, let me remind you what Set looks like. And it's already done in the show. This is supposed to be Set. Okay? And they just said, this MFer, she said, ready, set. Look at that. There's already another black dog. Just make him Set. Whatever. I don't care. Clearly. Editing Buttman here. Looking back on it now that I've seen more of the show, I'm pretty sure the other black dog was supposed to just be Anubis, and I'm assuming they were too afraid to do something too similar for Set, but I still think it would have been super cool to have the two, Anubis and Set, look really similar and almost be like twins or some kind of bodyguard like mass unit. I don't think that would have taken anything away from it. And it still bothers me that they just went such a completely different direction with Set. I understand where they're coming from, but it also still just rubs me the wrong way. Okay, bye. But that's if I'm really being nitpicky, right? Because again, it is just a children's show. My issue was just a lot of the time they would introduce a cool new Egyptian god, and then that would end up being, like, that would be the butt of the joke the entire episode. Like, that god. Or they would just be overly stupid, I guess, for the sake of entertainment. Like Geb, the Egyptian god of Earth, or something like that. And he was just like an idiot the whole time, which I thought was a bummer.
At sunset, you say?
Yeah,
Wonder when that is.
when the sun goes down.
When the sun sets.
They made him an
You
idiot?
say that.
That's a little disrespectful. Or like fucking Noon, I think, is the Egyptian god of water.
I'm so scared I almost dried myself.
The spell I
Oh, is he
used
supposed to be
works
fucking
both
a
ways.
dumbass again too? Why do they keep doing that? And he's like some kind of fucking comedy act the whole time where he just does nothing but make terrible puns.
Look, you. Nobody makes a bigger splash around here than me.
I'm so scared I almost dried myself.
If you can't hold your water, you're out of here.
What's that? I couldn't hear you. I've got water in my ears. Heck, I've got water for ears. I know myths. Some of my best friends are myths. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Terrible puns. And I love puns and bad jokes as much as the next guy, but I'm aware enough not to fucking torture you with them every 30 seconds in a 20-minute episode. Unbelievable. This guy better die quickly. Is this whole episode just a waste of just him trying and nothing happening, and then the show's gonna be over? But that episode wasn't the only problem. It felt like they were trying to balance the line of like having just enough content for an adult to like understand and be witty with it, but they pushed it too hard. And I don't know if I was just hyper aware of it, but by the end of the series, like even like 3 of the quarters through, I was just over it, dude.
Look what the cat dragged in.
I'm gonna myself. There's also a part where if I'm also being a very strict asshole, I'm pretty sure they introduced Talos in one of the episodes too, which is technically Greek mythology. But again, I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with overdoing the whole, we introduce a new character and he's a dumbass. They save the day, the episode's over. And even through all of that, like, of course, I'm talking about me experiencing all of the little things over the span of 50 or 47 episodes. It was still damn good. Like, there were parts that genuinely made me laugh and caught me off guard. Coward, no. It was, the fighting animation was awesome. Like I almost talked about earlier, like the bulk of the people they're fighting were either other mummies or like these statues that were being controlled by Scarab, the main bad guy. So they got to have a lot of fun showing cool ways to like kill them, which are they're just stone, so it's not like gory, but they get to do a lot of very interesting, and like it would be too far if it was a man against a man, like a human against a human kind of deal. And I thought that was really interesting and smart idea on their parts. They could get away with doing a lot more, and you get to see like things cut in half and bursts through, like punches a hole through his torso, and it's just a stone, and he's just like looking at it, and stuff like that. So it was very, very cool to see. Like, I think the puns kind of deal mostly affected me so much because I watched so many episodes in such a fast amount of time. So I was like sitting there seeing them over and over and over again. So if I was just casually watching it with like friends or in the background or something like that, it wouldn't have affected me nearly as much. And even after I was kind of force feeding it to myself in later episodes, there were still times where I was genuinely smiling and enjoying the show. And it was very cool. It was very fun to live that again. And also, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been old enough to understand some of those jokes or appreciate it in that sense. Because I'm sure I laughed at things that weren't traditionally funny. But some stuff was pretty cute, too. So.
As our prince has told us, always be sure to wear a seatbelt.
Okay, that one got me, actually, for real. And throughout the show, there were parts that genuinely surprised me that I wasn't able to call out. Because I consider myself, like, a lot of action movies are pretty cut and dry. You can guess the ending. Like a lot of kids' cartoons, like everything's going to work out in the end kind of deal. And there were times in this show that I was very caught off guard. Like there was an episode where there was a dude who was a snake who was right here. I don't remember his name. And he like jumps off of a building. I don't remember if I made this joke, but I remember thinking to myself, like, yeah, they're just going to fucking kill him off. And then you fucking kill him off. Does he die? Bro, is he dead?
Jack, you saved me.
It seems you have defeated me after all.
No way. No way! Oh shit. They actually killed him. Oh my god, it was so fucking funny, dude. Oh, and then of course, like, it helped build character to Nefertiti because they were like soft fucking, what's that when you bang with your clothes on?
I'm sorry, what?
What is that called? They were smushing with their words the entire show because it's a kid's show, but they were flirting the whole time.
I'm sorry we bothered you.
I'm not.
When we've completed a small
What is
task,
happening?
I shall find you.
Is that flirting or stalking, chat?
I will look forward to that day.
Is it only okay because he's hot? Smash or pass the snake dude.
Too.
Is this happening too quickly for you guys too?
The spell you hold over me is even greater than this magic.
Must share his fate.
That was weird. I feel like all of that just happened in like, they met, they fell in love, they like conflicted Romeo and Juliet in this piece, and now they're like fighting, and it's been 14 minutes. So even though quick, it still added to like the Nefertiti can feel too, you know, and she was sad to see somebody go and all that nonsense. All that gay shit. Oh, it's Pride Month when this is gonna come out. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go. So overall in the middle junk, there were a lot of really good parts that were fun to experience and to be a part of. And of course, there were bad parts that, you know, were a little lackluster or a little repetitive, and you're gonna have that with any show, especially children's shows, when they're gonna kind of just appeal to that audience.
The authorities. This has become more trouble than it's worth.
Bro, why would he care about the cops? He's literally a sorcerer. Fuck him up, dude. Just kill him, murk him. Grab what you want to grab. What is stopping you? The kid's gonna fight back? He's a child. Snatch him and boot. And, you know, maybe I was in a mood, too, or something, and you wouldn't actually even notice how many puns are being said, and I was just so hyper-fixated on watching the show to be able to have the B-roll to explain it to you, you know? But no matter what hijinks they caught themselves into, whatever gods they are trying to defend themselves from, or whatever schemes Scarab was able to conjure up for that day, they were always able to save the day, get Presley home safe / Rapsy's home safe, and get him ready for the next episode. That is until the finale, baby. And we're back with the rankings before we go into the finale. This was a last minute decision because I thought it'd be funny. Listen, I fucked it up. We can't all be perfect. It's still going to be a fun video. By the end of the middle stuff, the purple guy, Armand, makes so many jokes about how he just wants food. It's just like, that's his whole personality. He punches people and then makes jokes about when we can eat next. And it's like, I fucking get it, dude. I got so tired of it, I almost considered moving him up. That's how bad it was. So he is for sure getting bumped down right here. And the only reason why the love of my life is staying in 2 is because he just got like, he's kind of like the main of the 4 Guardians and is just badass. He flies, he has a special bow, and he has like a helmet where you can like barely see his eyes, which I mean a lot of them have like cool helmets overall, but he's just sick as shit, dude. So this is my, honestly, the winning tally right now, which will probably be consistent. And we can move on to the finale for real this time. Okay, jumping right into it, the finale was also awesome. Here's the deal, though. The show got canceled after they had already had plans for starting season 2. So just like Teen Titans and maybe Gargoyles, I don't remember, the show ended on a cliffhanger without them meeting to end on a cliffhanger. And also, I did not realize that there are the finale of season 1 is a 3-parter, 3 episodes, and then there are 2 episodes after that, which kind of was forced into them trying to wrap it up as much as they could. So I saw the 3-part finale, not realizing that was the actual finale, and then I watched the last 2 episodes being very confused, thinking that that was the wrap-up for season 1. So my reactions weren't as good as that they could have been, but I'm looking back on it now, I'll be able to genuinely tell you how the episodes were for a finale. Because I thought those episodes were good, I was just confused why they were doing them so early with other episodes being lined up. But now it makes sense. So, the finale plays on Jakal, my bird boy, and they play on his emotions. So at the beginning of the show, it shows him losing his family because he had family in Egypt, and then he got buried and entombed as the Guardians to protect Presley whenever his reincarnation arrived. So they play on the fact that the main bad guy working with Scarab is Jakal's brother and Jakal's nephew, his brother's son. That's what nephew means. So it's very interesting to see Jakal battle with wanting to save the day and wanting to see the good in his brother, while his brother is also actively fighting him and being evil. And then, of course, him accepting that and also trying to fight for his nephew, who he also wants the best for, but his nephew is surrounded by his dad telling him all of these things and seeing the evil, but the evil being celebrated by his dad, and then all the lies of thinking that Jakal is out to get him and just wants the worst in him, while also being conflicted because he's only ever seeing Jakal being nice and supportive to him. And that's even more of an impact on Jakal, seeing the nephew experience all of these things and like the inner turmoil without being able to do anything. Like he can't protect him from emotional distress. You know, and it's a very cool thing to see, especially in a kid's show, all while not overdoing it. And it wasn't like, okay, we get it, Jesus, move on. Like, no, it was, they sprinkled it in, they got the point across, which led us to the finale where he had to defend and choose whether he thought his nephew was more important than his mission to protect Presley, while also his nephew was battling, like, do I trust my dad, who's evil, but like made that feel okay? Or do I trust Jakal, who I've been raised into thinking is evil but has never really shown that? So it was super cool.
There's no other way.
Basically, it was like, just because something's being celebrated doesn't mean that it's the right decision. And I thought that was super cool and interesting and could still apply today. Unfortunately, though, since they were prepared for a season 2, the main bad guy, Scarab, he got away. He flew away. With his tiny ass little wings, he was able to putter out into the distance. And I'm sure they were going to have him, you know, obviously be the main bad guy of season 2, but we never got to see that, unfortunately. And then with that, as an acting season finale, the last 2 episodes was kind of like, the second to last one was just an extra fun. They get to fight, I think it was the Azkaban or some kind of prison episode, which is actually pretty sick. It looked very fun.
So, boss, you want us to rub somebody out for you? Not so much rub out as...
You want us to rub off somebody for you? You want us to make somebody feel real good and confused about their choices?
Bro, did you see that? Look. They didn't animate the bird's body in every frame. What? And then the very, very last episode was kind of a celebration of the entire series. And somebody was like on a radio and they were going over the stories of past episodes and reusing a bunch of material, but also kind of like paying homage to what the show was while closing it out as being like they are the heroes that San Francisco needed or whatever. So for our final ranking. Damn it, dude. God fucking damn it. I'm sticking to it, bro. Conceptually, fucking badass. Personality-wise, would rather hang out with a trash can. Completely honest. He can be a dipshit, but you kind of learn to love him after a little while, because he's, like, wrong a lot, but... hot. No. I'm totally kidding. I mean, she is hot, but she's like the handyman. Like she can operate any vehicle, and she's got a whip, and whips are badass. And she's we have our cat is named Bastet, and her power, although they all come from Raw, there's like homage to Bastet a lot throughout her show too, or throughout her character too. So it's pretty cool to see, and I have like a space in my heart for that. And then, I mean, I already talked about my boy, dude, Jakal is just badass. I also thought for a long time that when they said Wrath, they were saying Raph, like short for Raphael, until I think it was like spelled out somewhere in the show, or like in the credits or something. And yeah, I felt like an idiot. But this is my concluding leaderboard, and if I plan to do something like this, if I talk about other shows, it'll be a lot more prepared, but I literally made the decision to do this as I turn the camera on. And it's still fun for me, so you can suck it. Or you can subscribe. I would hate that. All in all, the good of the show, got some really good writers from another really good show. It's not their fault that ratings dropped. It kind of is. We know what I mean. That's the name of the game with any TV show. The writing was consistent in terms of like the characters are really cool and like as thought out as they could be for a children's show. You still got some tear-jerking moments. You got to see them struggle with some stuff and some inner conflict, a little more realistic, instead of it always being like, that guy's bad. Because as you know from last episode, if you're evil for the sake of evil, I'm going to have a problem with it. Which there, of course, was little specks of that in. But even Scarab, he was willing to make sacrifices to gain immortality because he could make up for all of that, all of those sacrifices. But the fucking, whoever I talked about in Thor the Dark World, Malekith, didn't even compare. I'll stop talking about him, but I mean, from Dark World in comparison to Scarab, which like he kind of... So the show itself was really good. Obviously, there were some issues I had with it, but again, I think a lot of those issues were the fact that I was just like marathoning the entire series as much as I could in order to get this episode happening, which is still like a month after my last episode. I'm so sorry about that, but I give the series the unbiased rating 8.6. 8.6. I have 8.1 written down here in my notes, and I honestly don't think that does it justice. 8.6. It was very fun. It lets you tiptoe into the world of Egyptian mythology without it feeling like you're in school every time you just want to watch cartoons fight. The fighting sequences were awesome from start to finish. At least that's what I thought. Maybe I'm easy to impress. And the writing wasn't terrible. I mean, I've already expressed to you my issues with that. So I think that was just a me problem and not the show problem. It also didn't do too well, so maybe it was towards the end. So maybe a lot of people felt that way, but I digress. I think you should watch this show. Do I think you'll love it? No. Do I think it's going to be the new favorite thing you've ever had? No. It's a kid show. It's an old kid show, but there's that nostalgic form of animation where it felt like Gargoyles and the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And like all of those just fun. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It just felt good. It just felt good. And for that, I can confidently give it an 8.6. And now I have to go, but future Muttman will be back to talk to you about how Baby Muttman fits into all this and how he first experienced the show. Okay. Hello. It has been several hours since I was talking about whatever I was talking about before, but still the same day. And I don't think we'd make it that far. I have not touched these since I left, so this is definitely lukewarm, but if you think that's going to stop me, You're stupid. Still fire. Nostalgia isn't just remembering something with rose-colored glasses. Nostalgia is the feeling of warmth you get when you're recalling a particular memory, right? It's not just the item itself that you remember or the TV show. It's who you were when you first watched or experienced that TV show or item or toy, where you were in your life, your mindset, right? How young you were, how much responsibilities you had, meaning how free you felt without realizing how free you felt in comparison to how free you feel now. I feel like I just said free a lot there. And that's also why if you ever rewatch a cartoon you watched as a kid, or if you had a childhood favorite YouTuber that you haven't watched in how many years because they just fell off or they aren't the same anymore, unfortunately, they didn't change. It's most likely you did. Or maybe fortunately, depending on how you look at it. And either way, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the reason why most nostalgic memories are tied to your childhood isn't related just to solely how much fun you had, but also the innocence and being able to truly focus on the fun you were having. We just happen to align all of those beautiful things and feelings and stars aligning into that one object that happened to be primarily your focus, right? And while the rest remains in your subconscious, just to peek back into that warm and fuzzy feeling whenever you experience that main priority again that got synced into your brain whenever you were on a couch playing Power Rangers or something. That was me. I don't know. You know what? That's actually a great example. I have talked about this before, maybe on this channel, maybe on another one, but I love Power Rangers. I do. I couldn't tell you the deep lore of every series. I couldn't name you every actor or character. I could probably name most of the shows, but just the universe, right? That world building, if you want to let me speak that freely about it, always will bring a sense of warmth and comfort to my heart. Like, regrettably, I was probably 14 when I stopped wishing to be a Power Ranger in Wishing Wells. Like, it's so ingrained in my memory that Wishing Wells aren't Wishing Wells. Those are potential Power Ranger becoming devices. And of course, I got into Power Rangers when I was a kid, like I was saying, but if I were to truly think about it, it wasn't the Power Rangers show solely that brought me my peace as a kid, right? It was the being able to watch the new episode every Saturday morning on my old futon, maybe with some breakfast that was made for me by my parents at the time, who I thought were nothing but perfection, right? And glory, and thinking no other concerns besides the fact of, oh no, Jason the Red Ranger, might not make it this time. How is he gonna win? And then they win, and it's awesome. Now, if you want to, we can focus on the fact that it is a fact that I will never be able to enjoy Power Rangers now the way that I did as a child, right? The memories I have linked with those and the innocence I had now compared to the reality of my situation and the responsibilities that I have, and, you know, learning more about myself and others without boring you with the details. Like, it's just never going to be the same. It's too filtered. My experiences now as a 20-something-year-old is too filtered as in comparison to when I was literally 6, 7, 8, just sitting on a couch with my bin of toys, watching those toys live on the screen and being able to almost participate in that with my belly full of pizza or whatever, you know? But the opposite side of that is that was a beautiful thing. I was fortunate enough to be able to experience that even for a couple years, you know? And there's some other people that might not have those experiences but still have the equivalence of what they saw as truly free, truly enjoying the innocence of something. You know, Power Rangers is a very specific example, but I'm sure you could apply this to yourself. This isn't new ground. I'm not here breaking barriers, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's my fucking channel. I genuinely saw that show was free to watch, and I was like, oh my God, I truly haven't seen Mummies Alive in over a decade, which is crazy. So I got to re-experience it. I got to kind of re-experience it with you guys and show you guys my experiences, and hopefully I got a few of you to try it out. Do I expect you to watch the entire show? No. Would it be cool if you got to take part in those experiences as I did? Sure, that would be awesome. But right as we get to the rating, nostalgia does not have to be something you are jealous of or that you pine for. It's something that you should be proud that you have been able to experience, and recognize that not having that filter doesn't make something bad. And if anything, it can allow you to re-experience it and take it in differently with the experiences you've had now, in comparison to the naivety, if that's how you say that, to what the naivety of the child that you were however many years ago. I don't know how old you are, and frankly, that's not my business. But rating this show in comparison to how I rated it unbiasedly, after everything I said about the experiences as I had as a child and the joy with Power Rangers and how that might never be the same, I rate it higher. That's right, I said it. What's that Creed song? Can you take me higher? It is rated higher. Did I think this was going to happen? No. I thought this was going to be one of the most obvious videos in the world where I was going to be like, I loved this show as a kid. And then I watch it and I go, oh my God, I thought that was funny. That shit's hilarious, bro. There's terrible animating sometimes where they just miss a slide in one of the last episodes. And then there's other things that they say that they just repeat themselves over and over again. And it's still fucking gold, okay? I talk shit for like half the video. And that's just because that's the stuff that was ingrained in my little negative brain. But that was maybe 15% of the whole show. Overall, it was a joy to experience. There is some more serious things sprinkled into like kids just enjoying themselves, which is fun. I like that, but it also wasn't overbearing and depressing to watch the show. I love action. The choreography was fun. I know it's a child's TV show, but you know what I mean. Technically, the fighting and the fighting styles I've probably mentioned 4 times now. Sorry, but I liked it. It was cool, okay? So last time, I gave it an 8.6 on its own. The biggest thing, the biggest takeaway why I think it hits me harder now than it did when I was a child is because I did not grow my love for mythology until later in life. And I think it was super cool to be able to recognize those names and actually put like meaning behind who Geb was or who Noon was, which is N-U-H-N, by the way. Fucking gross. And all of those things like that. And that let me connect with it in a different level that I wasn't able to connect to when I was a kid. And that's another perfect example of how nostalgia doesn't always mean that it is going to make a worse experience for you when you get older. With that in mind, I give Mummies Alive, as a grown-ass adult, sort of, if you want to let me have that, a 9 even. A 9.0, dude. Take it or leave it. I consider myself very hard to please, and I am hyping this up way too much because I just get very excited to record and make videos for you guys. And it's awesome. Okay, Ram Guy doesn't have an arm, turns into Winter Soldier every time he Fusro dolls. It's sick. Snake Guy can suck my dick. Cat Lady, I gotta be respectful, is badass. I don't love the fact that she can just magically use any car or helicopter or stuff, because like when would you have experienced to be able to know how to do that right away? But I'm gonna give it to her. And then this guy kind of had like 3 powers when all of these guys each had like 2. Maybe he had like 4. I don't know. They definitely made him the crowd favorite, and it fucking worked because he was badass. And of course, altogether they're badass as a team. And Presley / Rapsies is always the like damsel in distress, but he gets his licks in. This teenager just split. That was definitely metal. Bro, my shin would have snapped through my knee. And then he says some funny things and solves some problems on his own and actually participates and gets his time to shine. And then Scarab, dude, is fucking badass. He's one of the coolest villains I've ever seen in a cartoon ever. And look at me, dude. I'm wearing anime pants. I've seen a lot of cartoons, and that show's badass. That's the whole video. Nostalgia's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. You can also turn into other things. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you guys want me to ever do a deeper dive, like I know I kind of did a brief thing, I can really dive into a TV show or a movie or a series of movies. I don't care. I love doing this kind of stuff. If there's another topic you want me to talk about, I'm kind of just doing my thing, being busy, and then when I think of a topic, I'll make a video about it. That's pretty much how it is. Let me know how you feel about the new set. I can start kind of making this official and start decorating it. If you like me better with the projector, I'll do the projector. Guys, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but you know what I mean? I'm flexible. mentally flexible. I cannot touch my toes. Guys, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't. You're your own person. Do whatever the hell you want. If you end up giving this show a try, please tell me. Send it to a friend. Or don't. Just tell me about your experiences, man. What gives you nostalgia? Is it something really weird? Is it something that is plays on Jakal? Oh.